I am greatly concerned at the moment because this is my third time trying this segment, and the reason for that is Fraps seems to be having a bit of a period right now. Every time I record a chunk of a segment, it just disappears. It's almost as if I never actually recorded anything in the first place. I'm assuming that I'm recording right now. Let me have a look. Yeah, there's like there's a file in there, and it should like turn into its actual proper file once I'm done recording this segment. But I don't understand what the hell is causing this issue. It was perfectly fine yesterday, and now it's just having a really bad freaking moment today. So I'm gonna get this part. I'm gonna just record this part, stop the recording, and see if the video stays there. If it disappears, I may actually end up having to record the rest of this. Like I still have 2 days worth of stuff to upload. I may end up having to frickin' put this on hiatus or something, because this would be really bad if I can't record the bloody thing. Okay, so here, yeah, here he's just had a look at the national decks. Despite this, this game has a rather, what I'm assuming is like a fundamental mechanic that that you have to just get the national decks off of Professor Oak, and so this is just this makes no sense for the hack because he's about to give you the national decks even though you already have it. But again, I think it's like a mechanic that has to be in there so that you have access to the post-game stuff. So that's probably my reasoning for it being there. So he's gone and done the modifications on my Pokédex that are already freaking there. And so we get this out of the way. And I will do one other thing just to sort of increase the length of this chunk of the video. I don't know if that'll help, but whatever. I'm going to head over here into Route 4 because there is an item that I meant to get like as soon as I got access to Surf, but just didn't, and that would be the Lucky Egg, which is a very useful item to have indeed. You fit it onto a Pokemon, and they get an increase in the amount of experience that they get for each battle that they participate in, so that's a nice little thing to have. So I've just found a Vermilion City, and this is where I'm going to just cut the segment here and see if the video is still there. If not, I honestly have no idea what the hell I'm going to be able to do. So, yeah. Okay, it seems fine to me. I don't know what the hell caused it. I just closed it down and started it back up, and it seemed to be doing pretty fine, so I guess it's just assumed that I can go on with the post-game stuff like normal. So, our first port of call here is One Island. We have to go and pay this guy a visit, again. So, he's in the process of modifying this stupid bloody thing. And basically what this is supposed to do is, it's supposed to give you access to be able to trade with Hoenn-based games like Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Once again, it's completely pointless for this hack since it is self-contained and you're not supposed to be trading with other games anyway, but it is still part of the post-game, and so in order to get access to other stuff, I'll need to do this anyway, because like, I need to get both of the gems back to get access to Cerulean Cave, so obviously that's one major objective that I need to be able to do, because, you know, I kind of need to get Mewtwo. Mewtwo is going to be an absolute deck. If you have not had much experience in this playthrough, I'm not gonna explain it here because it'll be a bit complex. So I'll explain it on the way to Mewtwo when I'm actually get into Cerulean Cave, because it's not relevant here at the moment. What is relevant here though is these two Rocket guys. And Rocket Warehouse passwords, there's two apparently. Goldeen need log, and the second one is Hey the Snoop's been listening in. Okay, so Goldeen need log, and Hey the Snoop's been listening in. Okay, that's pretty simple. That Hey the Snoop's been listening in might be a bit of a challenging one, because Goldeen need log is easy to remember because it's a palindrome. But that whole other one's a bit weird and whatnot. But yeah, obviously that's not the password at all, and that cave opening actually makes the rocket guy on the right look like he's got one of those tall, like, furry hat things like the English guards have. I think it's kind of hilarious. But another thing, which actually reminds me, there's another thing in this segment that I explained in one of the earlier attempts, and that is my champion theory that I mentioned at the end of the previous segment. And I figured since I didn't have much else to talk about, I would discuss that as I'm going through Mount Ember. I almost lost my train of thought in explaining it as well, because I was in the process of explaining what the hell I was doing in the middle of the thing as I'm going in here. But anyways, because I'm professional and you just suck. I don't know. No, we don't want to fly. We want to switch broadband across, because this guy, I know he's got like a Zangoose or something like that. But anyways, I was thinking of this champion theory. It just sort of hit. It was in the process of rendering one of the earlier segments, and it just sort of hit me this thought that there may potentially actually be two types of Pokemon League champion. I feel like there's the ones that have the title of champion, and then there's just this one that's designated to be the league champion that people face after they beat the Elite Four. Now, just fair warning, there are probably going to be a couple of holes in this theory. Like, I can already identify one, because apparently, because it just appears that there wasn't a champion before my rival got there, so that's also a thing. Unless the Kanto region was only recently sort of forged, but then they've got like a whole bunch of trainers, like they've got a history of trainers that succeeded in beating the Pokemon League. So Kanto, that's a bit of a hole right there. But point is, my theory is based on the fact that regardless of how many times you beat the champion is still the champion that you face at the end of the Elite Four. And what also gave me the thought that there may be two different types of champion is in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, when you do the rematched Elite Four, the rematched Pokemon League, when you enter Steven's room, he addresses you as a champion, even though he's like the designated champion that you have to beat. You're still recognized as a champion. And so my thought is that there's one designated champion that accepts challenges after like challenges beat the Elite Four, and then there's a whole bunch of other champions just that have the title of champion that can be called upon to take over that position, and like, but the title also gives them the ability to challenge the Elite Four's stronger team, which I think just the champion title justifies the reason is a good enough reason for Elite Four and champion to have better teams. Because my thought is that like if you challenge the Elite Four but don't have the champion title, then you get their weaker team. But if you have the champion title and you decide to challenge them again, then they'll come at you with their stronger team. Obviously that part of the theory didn't sort of come into it until later on. I believe FireRed and Leaf Green were the first games to actually have rematched Elite Fours with stronger teams. So I can't remember if there was anything else I sort of explained in the previous attempt, but I think that was about it. Here we have some Braille. I think this is supposed to be like knowledge has meaning, something else has meaning, everything else has meaning, have dreams use power, something like that. I will probably decipher it. I can actually just watch Victor Bonabas's LP of this, because he translated all of these off-screen, and so I could just basically sort of put that all in an annotation and just sort of stick it in the video in post-production. That's going to be a joy to do, because this isn't the only one. There's another one when you go and get the Sapphire. But for the time being, this Ruby, which I've never actually seen the in-bag sprite of it. What the hell is it supposed to look like? Pretty generic. Pretty much the same shape as what it appeared in the overworld. So anyways, you can tell that there's a whole bunch of higher level Pokemon in here. There are a couple of new Pokemon in here that I need to capture. One of them definitely being Camerupt. I actually need to pick up 2 Camerupts because I need one to trade for that Shelgon, which I only have to goose up with 1 rare candy and it becomes a Salamence. Life hacks, for the win. I think I may have mentioned the life hacks last time I was explaining that, but I think that's everything in Mount Ember. I think that's the only real new thing in Mount Ember, so... Anyways, we got this thing, we hand it back to him, and he's sort of just about ready to splooge in his pants at the sight of it. Yeah. And so we get the, another page for the town map, plus our tri-pass is exchanged for this rainbow pass. This gives us access to islands 4 through 7. And so the first place we're going to have a look at is 4 Island. Very, very small, compact little island. And Rival is here. Thankfully he does not fight you. It's good, because he was probably, like, level 80,000 or some shit. Now, I could have sworn that there was a hidden item here somewhere. Let me actually get the item finder out here. Or is it... Oh, it's right there. Yeah, I thought it was there. I kept pressing A right there, but it didn't show me anything. Whatever, it's a pearl. Anyways, up here is another daycare. This is where you can drop your Pokemon to breed. So I'll be needing this a lot. Over in this house is this guy that puts stickers onto your trainer card for certain accomplishments, i.e. beating the league. And you also get one for explaining to him that eggs exist. Yeah, just egg sticker for explaining that eggs exist. I think there's also a sticker for, like, hatching X amount of eggs. And that's Lorelei's house, the Lorelei from the Elite Four. Yeah, she kind of, does, right there. Kind of obvious one, Slowpoke Slowbro, the Wigglytuff over there. I'm going to arbitrarily guess that this Wigglytuff doll is the only reason she has a Wigglytuff in her team. Or at least it was in the first round. I do not believe she has it in the second round. What is this over here? A Stardust, so that's going to be immediately sold as soon as I have the opportunity. Anyways, over here, we have the Icefall Cave. And over here is a waterfall, which I will need the very obviously named waterfall move in order to use, in order to climb up, which is in here. So, all we got to do is, I'd like to get that item actually, so I may have to do some stupid navigation here. But anyways, if you've played Ruby Sapphire or Emerald, then you know the gimmick of those bits of ice. They crack under your pressure, and then when you step on them again while they're cracked, then they break. And there is a Dugong, which we do not need because we already have it. Okay, that was a complete waste of time. I knew one of them was these two was a complete waste of time, but evidently it is this one. Now, there's nothing we can do with this slippery, slidey, icy, and that sort of jazz. At least not coming in from there. I believe we want this way. No, that's actually not the correct way. I guess it's this one then. Yeah, hit that rock and then you go across and get the Never Melt Ice, which might be another useful item for Starmie. I believe this way you have to go around and then get that, and then over there I believe is like an elixir of some variety. No, it's a full restore. Go up this ladder, and there's the HM for Waterfall. So, with that now out of the way, we'll have this one block my way out of this room, and then we got to go back because we need a slave that can use Waterfall, and I will probably just grab my Whalmer or something like that. But is there anything in the new box actually? Good thing I didn't catch anything. Okay, yeah. So I guess I'll just go and grab something that can Waterfall. Actually, Seeking. Whereabouts is that? Yeah, just grab the Seeking for no real reason. What's going to be the least useful here? Dynair. Just drop Dynair off. And by the way, Victory Bell can actually be found in the wild, which is why I don't have another one in my possession as of yet. So let's go ahead and TM Case, Waterfall. I believe Seeking is the only Pokemon that learns Waterfall just in its level up move pool. Like it was exclusive to Seeking, I'm pretty sure, in red, blue, yellow, and then it became a HM move and was actually somewhat more relevant to things. Okay, so lead with Valerie Fawn because I'm expecting some poison types or some jazz. Because in here, there be the aforementioned Lorelei. I tell you what, they're a bit pissed off, aren't they? So anyways, well, that's the thing, like, I imagine that back in the day, some people would, like, catch Pokemon in nets because Pokeballs are, like, a high-tech sort of thing. But I think that that's sort of, like, become taboo nowadays. If they catch them in Pokeballs, then they do belong to the trainers, so obviously there's no real reason to be pissed off at them for that. But if they're doing it, like, for obviously criminal activities, like to sell them off at the black market or some shit, then it'd be a bit stupid. And also Crobat, what the shit. Just Crobat. Oh god, this thing has hypnosis. Come off it. Hey, at least as long as I'm a sleep poison fan, can't poison me. Can we wake up sometime this millennium? Thank you. Okay. That may have been a threat, but not really. Lol. Yes! Homicide! Kill him! Damn it. Yeah. Yeah, we're not gonna make it into the warehouse because we've only got the one password. We're gonna go and get the other one. So, yeah, and she became an Elite Four on the mainland. She's from Tasmania, and she became one of the leading trainers of the mainland, kind of like Ricky Ponting. Anyways, this patch of water is completely and utterly useless. I'm not even sure if there's anything in here that I haven't actually caught already, except for possibly... Actually, I'm pretty sure you can find Glalie in here. I think that is about it. So, like with like with just about every other segment ever, I'm going to explain what the hell is in here and then catch everything off screen because they decide to just not want to show up for me. So I believe there's Glalie and there's Camerupt. I'll have to have a look at Advanced Map to see if there's anything else that I need to capture. But I think that's about it for this segment, so next time we're going to go and have a look at Five Island.